Shalom, Israel, shalom, shalom. Brother Naquam, watchman for Israel, coming back at you with these precepts. Add another cold cut, giving, of course, all honor and all glory to Yahweh, by Shema Mashiach Malak Yahushua. Double honors to the elected elders of the house of David that's been in this truth for decades and decades, patiently waiting for the second coming of Hamashiach Malak Yahushua. A hearty, mighty shalom to all of the mighty men of the Most High God who are out there on the highways and byways, pushing this truth, magnifying the ministry, presenting their body as a living sacrifice, and enduring all things for the elect's sake. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to all of the men that may not be out there on the highways and byways as of yet, but they're working on it. They're getting built up in the spirit. They're praying, they're fasting, they're studying, they're being diligent and abounding in the work of the Lord. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to all of the Aquath out there, the sincere sisters out there, holding it down in the households, reverencing their husbands, being submissive and diligent, and moving in the spirit of our righteous foremothers. Shalom, shalom. And shalom to everybody tuning in live. Diamond Rivers, Ancients Knew, Why Don't We? Don Israel, HBKN, Kodash Zion, Brother Azariah, shalom. Anthony Knox, daughter of Zion, Nahum Yasha'Allah, shalom. King, shalom. Natash, Tazar Ban Aparium, Aliyah Hawksworth, the fisherman for Zion, shalom. Kyoko Banyamian, Richard Perez, C Hip, and everybody else tuning in, and that will tune in, Lord willing, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashmi Abashai. The topic of this code is depression and doubt are demons and how to fight them. That's a heavy spirit that's plaguing a lot of brothers. It's plaguing a lot of sisters. It's plaguing a lot of households. It's affecting your mentality. It's causing brothers to be slothful. Some people have, thoughts of suicide. They're closing the blinds and the curtains and turning the lights off in the room. And, they isolate themselves. And these are all the effects of a brother or a sister or a household being plagued by a demon known as depression. Depression is normalized in this society as part of, one of the phases of life that you go through when you're in hard times. But what they fail to tell you in this man's system is that when you're dealing with depression, it's nothing but a demon. There's nothing but a spirit sent by Yahweh Bashmi Abashai, man, on you. You understand? Rather it's for chastisement, rather you're going through the furnace of affliction, or whatever reason Yahweh Bashmi Abashai, through his infinite knowledge and divine counsel, has put these spirits on us, man. And we can't let these spirits sift us out or root us out the land of the living, man. Right? We got a kingdom we got to work for. Everlasting life, immortality, servants and handmaids, and peace and rulership and tranquility, and a lifting up of our King, Yahweh himself, man. So we have a lot we have to do, man. We can't let these demons and these spirits hinder us from doing the work that the Most High has commanded us to do. So let's open it up. Let's go to the book of First Maccabees. First and foremost, right? We brought this out at camp, right? Now, this is during the time of the Maccabees on a literal level where our had to fight on a Sabbath day. Right? They had to fight on the Sabbath because if they didn't fight on the Shabbat, they would be completely annihilated off the face of the earth. And there would be no nation of Israel. Right? So let's see what they said. And we're going to look at it on a spiritual level. This is First Maccabees, chapter 2 and verse 40. And one of them said to another, if we all do as our brethren have done, and fight not for our lives and laws against the heathen, they will now quickly root us out of the earth. And this literally was a statement, man. This was the solution from the nation. They said, hey, look, man, we just can't lay down our weapons on a Sabbath day because the heathen are going to come annihilate us and attack us every seventh day. So we're compelled and obligated. Our back is against the wall. We got to put in work on the Sabbath. If we don't do that, we're going to be rooted out the earth. That's the literal context. But on a spiritual level, when you have your spiritual mind open, you understand that the secrets of wisdom are double to that which is. And you're able to look at things that are carnal and applied on a spiritual level. Right? So it reads again, and one of them said to another, if we do as our brethren have done. And what did their brothers do? They laid down their weapons, man. They willingly laid down their weapons and let the Edomites which were the Greeks, come in and just murder them and slay them in cold blood. They laid down. Right? Let me jump up and read that. Right? This is First Maccabees chapter 2 and 34. But they said, we will not come forth, neither will we do the king's commandment to profane the Sabbath day. So then they gave them battle with all speed. Howbeit, they answered them not, neither cast they a stone at them, nor stopped the places where they lay hid. So they pretty much laid down, man. They laid down and let the so-called white man just come and just thrust them through. It reads, but said, let us die in our innocency. Heaven and earth shall testify for us that you put us wrongfully to death. So word got out that these men laid down willfully, man, and let the enemy come and just take over them. It got to the point we said, look, we can't just lay down, man. You can't lay down to these heathen. You can't even lay down to these demons. You can't let a depression demon just come and destroy you, man. You can't let a sadness demon. You can't let a wrath demon, a lust demon, a pride demon, a slothful demon. These demons are here to fight you, man. This is war that you're living in. We have to remember that this is spiritual warfare. And this is the condition of the battle, that man that is born upon the earth shall fight. So if we don't do if we all do as our brethren have done, and we just lay down and let these demons do God knows what to us and fight not for our lives. So when we're dealing with depression and any spirit, but chiefly depression and doubt, brothers have to understand that you have to fight for your life, man. This is a fight. You got to fight those thoughts. You got to fight them evil spirits. You got to fight the physical effects that come with it. It's not going to be easy, man. It's not an easy thing to get out of depression. Most brothers, sisters, we've dealt with that. I've dealt with it. You've dealt with it in time past. If you haven't, you may experience it. Right? But this thing is about fighting, man. Fighting isn't easy. But it has to be done. That's the point. You have to fight for your life and its truth. And laws against the heathen. It could be against the heathen, or it could be against these demons. And if you don't fight, what's going to happen? They will now quickly root us out of the earth. And a lot of brothers, they'll fall at the truth and they'll let that depression get to them. You know, they'll isolate themselves for a long period of time, and then they'll stop reading, right? Then they may stop, studying. They may stop fasting. They'll stop congregating. They may stop, getting in tune with the videos. They might, just be damn in a room somewhere, man. Some people cut themselves. Some people are praying that the Most High destroy them. Some people are damn thinking about suicide. They feel as though the Most High forsake them. You can't let these spirits get to you. They're going to quickly root you out of the earth. So when we are dealing with these spirits, we have to approach it from the standpoint of what? This is war. This is war, right? It's beyond, some brothers get depressed because financial situations. They may be marital problems. You may have physical infirmities that you're always sick and you don't get better. Your living situation may not be where it is. And there's a whole lot of spirits, man. You might be catching hell at work and you might have your head down. You might be in this truth and your family left. There's a lot of reasons why brothers deal with depression. Right? Let's go to the book of Numbers 27. But again, we got to understand that this thing is spiritual. Right? Let's go to Numbers chapter 27. When we open up our mind and take it out of the physical realm, it gives you more insight and you see this thing from the bigger picture. Right? You got to look at this thing from the bigger picture. Numbers 27 and 15. And Moses spake unto the Lord, saying, let Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, the God of the spirits of all flesh, set a man over the congregation. So Yahweh, he's the God of the spirits of all flesh. Any spirit that's on you, it was given to you by the Most High. You can have a spirit of zeal, where you want to read and study and you up all night and you in the videos and going over your notes. You can have a spirit of brotherly love, man. You checking on your brothers, you exhorting them. You can have all types of spirits on you. Any spirit that's sent to you in the flesh, it was sent by the Most High. right? We have to understand a lot of things that, like we always talk about, what the so-called white man calls a mental disorder or a mental illness. That's what he calls it. They're nothing but spirits, and they're sent on your flesh. And there are thousands of spirits that are up there with Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, man. Let's go to Daniel chapter 7. Right? This Daniel chapter 7 and verse 10. A fiery stream issued and came forth from before him. Thousands ministered unto him, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The judgment was set, and the books were opened. So up there in the third heaven, there are millions and millions of spirits up there. Spirits of anger, spirits of sadness, spirits of lust, spirits of pride, spirits of covetousness, spirit of theft, spirit of whoremongering, spirits of leadership, spirits of humility, spirits of arrogancy, spirits of forgiveness. These are all spirits up there. Now, at any given time in the flesh, you have one of those spirits on you, man. And what the Most High does in this life, we in this flesh, part of the curses is that spirit of depression is going to reign heavy on us. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28. We got to remember that that's part of the curses, man. A lot of brothers, when you come in this truth, you take yourself out the curses as if they no longer apply to you. That's part of this thing, man. Right? This Deuteronomy chapter 28 and 65. Right? Deuteronomy chapter 28 and 65. And among these nations thou shalt find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest, but the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart and failing of eyes, and what? And sorrow of mind. So these are the curses, man. This is the punishment. These spirits of brothers hating their own brother, when you got drive-bys and killing and theft in the hood and selling drugs, and that's a spirit of hatred that the Most High sent down in the Israelite community or nation. When you have spirits of strippers and prostitution and whores, the spirit of whoredom has been sent down to judges. There's a lot. The Most High said that there are spirits created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made him. Right? That's Ecclesiasticus chapter 39 and 28, paraphrase. So there are spirits up there for vengeance. One of those spirits is the spirit of depression, the spirit of having a sorrow of mind. So you can't well, I'm an Israelite. Why am I dealing with that? I don't know. Brother, you have to remember, this is warfare, and these are the judgments. The Most High put the gavel down and said, look, you're going to go down there, you're going to affect them. Now, sometimes, depression can affect one individual more than others, right? Some people, they've never dealt with it. Some people, they deal with it heavy. These are part of the curses and the judgment of the Most High. There are spirits sent down to us, right? We're going to go through, first we're going to understand this depression, where it came from, why do we go through it, and we're going to go through how to overcome it. But first we have to realize the source, because you leave it up to the so-called white man, like I said. I mean, you read his books on psychology and whatever he got out there, man, he just tells you it's a mental illness, Oh, well, you're depressed because, you got fired from your job. They don't understand the spiritual things. That's why people that deal with depression, they don't know how to cope with it in righteousness. When people are depressed, man, they deal with it in wickedness. They don't smoke a blunt, man. They'll smoke weed, try to smoke their problems away. They'll pop a perk, PCP, do a damn whatever, man. Some women, they look for a woman just to have sex with, to feel pleasure. They want temporary pleasure. You try to get out of that demon. But those things don't help you, man. Some people, they pay $350 every 2 days out the week, man, to talk to a therapist, to the so-called white man. And you sit back on that reclined chair, and he says, tell me what's on your mind. Well, when I was 5 years old, and he's trying to solve this demon on you, and he's putting more demons on you, man. That's not how you deal with depression. Some people, they deal with a hypnotist. They're paying $700 every 2 weeks out of their check to go get hypnotized by some molester, man, from Dr. Hands. And Dr. Hands takes that damn golden pocket watch and puts it back and forth in front of your eyes. And then these people, oh boy, I'm following it. And then he says, just close your eyes, relax your spirit, and just, go back to when you were a 6-year-old at the playground and you had no worries in the world. Then he snapped his fingers, then you fall into a trance, man. And he does God knows what to you. And you wake up and you got more demons on you. Now you're dealing with insomnia. Now you're dealing with grief. Now you're dealing with all types of stuff. So that's why you can't handle a spiritual problem carnally. All right, when there's a spiritual problem, it requires a spiritual solution. Depression is not carnal. Depression is not a flesh and blood. This thing is of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. The curses, spirits. So we have to approach it spiritually. Now, when you look up, this is something I had pulled up. So here's from Healthline, right? Dealing with so-called depression and a little insight on what they go into. All right, and they kind of got some of this stuff right, man. So the effects of depression on your body, believe it or not, this is how you know depression is a demon. Because why do demons come on you? Demons are sent to you. They're originally from the third heaven, right? We covered that. The Most High, he's the father of spirits. Let me get that real quick in Hebrews 12:9. All right, let me get that real quick. Hebrews chapter 12. Slakia. And I want verse 9. It reads, furthermore, we have had fathers of our flesh, Slakia, which corrected us, and we gave them reverence. Shall we not much rather be in subjection unto the Father of spirits and live? See, that's so Yahweh himself, Ba'ashem Yahushai, he is the Father of spirits. Whatever spirit is out there, and the Most High created it. Now, when you go and deal with this link right here, these spirits like depression, which really is a demon on the left-hand side, is sent on you like a parasite. That's all it is. It sucks the joy out of you. It's sent to suck the happiness out of you. It's sent to suck the damn the zeal out of you. That's what a parasite does, right? Let's pull up a parasite. What does a parasite do from its host? See that? A parasite is an organism that lives on or in a host organism and gets its food from or at the expense of the host. You see that? Like a tapeworm, a tick, right? And other types of things you can have in your body, and they're there to eat off of you. They feed off of you. You get sicker and hungrier, and your flesh gets drained, and these creatures inside of you, they wax fat. Right? They wax fat off of you. They feed off of you. They need you. They can't survive without you. See that? Parasitism is a symbiosis wherein an organism benefits from its host, right? Benefits from the association, but generally harms the host, man. Right? So it's a toxic relationship. They're spiritually and physically abusing you, but they wax fat off of doing it. And that's what depression is. Depression is a parasite demon. And the sadder you get, and the lower you get, and the more damn demonic thoughts you have, and the more you isolate yourself, you're giving that demon strength, and he's waxing stronger and stronger as he eats away of your life force. And then eventually, hey, these people that deal with depression, God forbid, but they tend to go the route of suicide. And once suicide is in, hey, guess what? That demon did his job. He got you. Because that was his job in the first place. Then he'll hop on the next person. You can't let these demons win. You got to fight for your life, man. People with parasites, and they get a doctor's appointment. They might do like a cleanse, maybe like a colon cleanse, or, they may start eating right and, working out, and they on a treadmill and they purging out them parasites, man. You have to do the same thing with this demon right here, because it's sent on you, Salakia. We're going to pull that up too, to jam you up. And it'll even affect your physical body and your mentality. All right. So it reads, Salakia. Depression is technically a mental disorder, but also affects your physical health. You see that? Let's go to 1 Kings chapter 21. Let's go to 1 Kings. Let's prove that. 21st chapter. So depression is a mental disorder. Really, it's a demon, but it also affects your physical health. Now, this 1 Kings chapter 21 and verse 1. All right, we're going to read this. And it came to pass after these things that Naboth, the Jezreelite, had a vineyard, which was in Jezreel, hard by the palace of Ahab, king of Samaria. And Ahab was the king of Israel, right? And Ahab spake unto Naboth, saying, Give me thy vineyard, that I may have it for a garden of herbs, because it is near unto my house. And I will give it thee for it a better vineyard than it. Or if it seem good to thee, I will give thee the worth of it in money. So he wanted this man to sell his inheritance. He wanted to trade his land for another land, or sell his land. And you can't sell your inheritance. So Ahab was off for even making that offer. So here's what Naboth did. Naboth was righteous. Naboth said to Ahab, the Lord forbidded me that I should give the inheritance of my fathers unto thee. So you can't sell the land of your inheritance, because that's the Most High's land that he gave to our fathers. So Ahab got rejected of his offer. So here's the spirit, right? 1 Kings 21:4. And Ahab came into his house heavy and displeased, right? Because of the word which Naboth the Jezreelite had spoken to him. So he started getting depressed, man. He had his head down, heartache. And when you're heavy, you dragging your feet, you don't have no pep in your step. You got your head down. You don't want to talk to nobody. That's the spirit that Ahab was in. Unjustified, right? For he had said, I will not give thee the inheritance of my fathers. And he laid him down upon his bed and turned away his face and would eat no bread. You see that? So that's the spirit on you. When you're not eating and drinking and you're starving and withering away, that's a spirit on you. He's not willfully fasting. He has a parasite. And I'm going to keep using that term on him. Huh? And the Most High sent that spirit on him for the reason of him doing God knows what, man, and that wicked request. And these are signs of depression. People not eating, turning away your face. You got people that just hide under the covers all day, or go in the room and lock the room. Or they, their conversations become short with people, and they'll just lay in their bed all day, man. I can't eat anything. You lose your appetite. These are these spirits or these demons affect your physical health, right? But Jezebel, 1 Kings 21:5. But Jezebel, his wife, came to him and said unto him, Why is thy spirit so sad that thou eatest no bread? So she, in her infinite evil, she was still on a level. It's like she was still on a level back then to be able to recognize that his spirit was sad, right? And sometimes your spirit does get sad, right? For whatever reason, that it is. You may not eat bread, you may not drink water, you may not pick up the phone, you may not, send those texts out or return those calls that people are calling you, checking on you. That's because, again, this thing is what? Spiritual. Why is thy spirit so sad? right? And I'm not going to read this whole chapter, but when you read this, a lot of evil came out of this, man. They ended up killing the Naboth and stealing that man's vineyard and his family inheritance that belonged to the Most High. Right, let's go to Wisdom of Solomon. Right, let's go to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17. Right, Salakia. I want Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17 and verse 4. And I want to get back in that article. I got a good amount of precepts I want to go into as well. Okay, this is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17 and verse 4. The Most High did to the Egyptians during that darkness, for neither might the corner that held them keep them from fear, but noises as of waters falling down sounded about them, and sad visions appeared unto them with heavy countenances. So one of the ways that the Most High affected the mind to put fear into the Egyptians is he gave them apparitions. He showed them visions and trances and had them have these, what they call now, somewhat of an outer body experience to see these things that weren't really there, right? And one of the things that killed them was what? Sad visions. A lot of these Egyptians died, man, when they had these things pop across their face. When they heard water running down or wild beasts running at them and lions and waterfalls, right next to them. But another thing that killed these Egyptians in the night and broke them down was sad visions and heavy countenances. See that? So the Most High can send that on you. That's a spirit he could put on you, man. He can give you sad visions, give you a heavy countenance. He can send that spirit against you, and that spirit can hop on you and somebody try to bring you down. Now y'all both depressed, and it's very, very spiritual that that Yahweh Shema Shai can do these things, and it affected these men, right? And I'm not going to read this whole chapter, but hey, guess what? A lot of these Egyptians, they died, man. Right? Let me jump down to verse 10. They died for fear, denying that they saw the air, which could of no side be avoided. So a lot of these men died when they had these sad visions or saw these sad visions and heavy countenances. We read Ahab, he didn't eat no bread. He laid in his bed all day and his spirit became sad and heavy. This is not a physical thing. And again, the more we attack and approach this depression and doubt with a spiritual mentality, the more likely or the more inclined you'll be to be able to overcome it with spiritual solutions and spiritual answers, man. So let me go back to this article. Okay, so depression is technically a mental disorder, but also affects your physical health. It may impact everything from your heart, you see that, kidney, nervous system, and immune health system. Your heart rate could increase, your blood pressure, it could drop, and your kidneys can malfunction. You're more prone to diseases now. That's how you know it's a demon. Depression is one of the most common mental health conditions in the United States. At least 6% of U.S. adults have a major depressive episode annually in 2020. Learn about some of the most common symptoms of depression and how depression can affect your entire body, especially if left untreated. Because you got to be able to recognize too, as a nation, when somebody has spirits on them. Because somebody that's depressed, they may not come out and say, hey, look, I'm depressed. That's a beautiful spirit for the Most High to put on a brother to say, hey, look, I'm depressed. I'm dealing with this. I'm dealing with X, Y, and Z. That's a beautiful thing in the eyes of Yahweh Shema Shai for that to be the case. But is that always the case? No. And you being your brother's keeper, you have to say, hey, look, this brother's son, brother, he quiet now. He usually kind of talkative. He normally comes out. He's kind of isolating himself. I call the brother, he's real short and words with me. I know the brother, got fired from his job where I know his woman, went off and left him and did God knows what. This brother has signs of depression. And you gotta recognize that, man. So you can build your brother up and help him from that lower state. Because it's not just about you. You may not deal with it, but your brother may deal with it. And your woman may deal with it. You got a lot of children that deal with depression, man. And he's writing dark things in a journal and then a notebook and all types of vile things, man, what they want to do to their body. You got people that'll cut themselves and wear, long sleeves and act like nothing is happening. They'll come to you normally, man. They may talk to you because depression, you can be depressed and still kind of be talking to people. But then, when you go home, you may be afflicting your body or having these thoughts or having spirits, and all hell could break loose on you, man. So we want to be able to know also how to recognize these demons when they hop on our fellow brothers or our sisters or our family, wives, children, loved ones, man. Right? Let's go to the book of Proverbs chapter 15 and 13. Right? Let's go to Proverbs chapter 15. And it's a heavy spirit. It's an extremely heavy spirit. And we're going to go to how to overcome this spirit, man. Right now, we're going to recognizing it, defining it, and recognizing it, man. Proverbs chapter 15 and verse 13. It reads, "A merry heart maketh a cheerful countenance, but by sorrow of the heart, the spirit is broken." See, the Most High could break your spirit down, man. Now you could tell when the brother's having a so-called good week or so-called, as much as you can in this captivity, a good day, and things may be going well for him, and he'll wear it on his face, man. He may be smiling and talkative or joking around, and you can recognize him by his demeanor and behavior. And that brother, man, that brother got a good spirit on him, man. That brother's married, man. But then on the left-hand side, hey, this brother, man, his countenance, he looks sad all the time, man. And some brothers they joke with a brother, man, but the brother's really dealing with some heavy depression. Why you look like somebody shot your dog, man? Why you look like, Jake, you like to do those things, but this brother could really be dealing with something, man. And he may not want to open up to it because a lot of brothers, they don't want to open up to depression because they believe it makes them look weak. It doesn't make you look weak. When you confess your faults and open up about what you're dealing with, that's one of the strongest things that a man could do, right? It would be effeminate to hide those things, man. In the world, or hey, some women in the truth, you get into it and they're angry, but they won't tell you why they're angry. They just, I'm okay, I'm mad, right? That's something that women tend to do. Not all women, right? But you understand the point. So a brother, he's dealing with something. It's easy for a brother to mask it and hide it, man. And you got to kind of recognize it. Everything's not a laughing and joking matter. And if somebody's sad, hey, guess what, man? Or you can recognize his spirit is broken. You got to fix it. When it's broken, you got to fix it. How do you fix it? With the scriptures, with counsel. You might spend time with that brother, and y'all might go get a drink or something, man. If that's something that y'all do, y'all might go and if the brother like to work out, y'all might go work out and get his mind off of the situation. You might pray with the brother, man. First and foremost, and call upon the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, that demon leaves him and his spirit that was once broken becomes fixed. Because that's a serious thing right there, man. Because if you lead that brother, a lot of people, man, they play too damn much, man. And then that brother end up harming himself or harming his children or harming his woman. And now I don't know. How did that brother do that? That was such a horrible act. I can't believe that brother did that. Because you didn't help that brother, man. You knew his spirit was down. So your spirit can actually be broken. You can tell off of a brother's demeanor and behavior. Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon, the 9th chapter. All right, let's go to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 9 and verse 14. Okay, Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 9 and 14. "For the thoughts of mortal men are miserable, and our devices are but uncertain." And a lot of depression comes from those thoughts, man. A lot of doubt that you have, it comes from your thoughts. Oh, I'll never get right. I'll never have enough money to pay my rent and bills. Oh, my son, he'll always be sick, and now there's always something. Oh, and my car broke down. Then I got fired from my job. Now my woman getting on my nerves. Now my daughter, she's sick. Now my back hurt. Oh, man. And you just having these thoughts. And they're miserable thoughts because you're in the flesh. For the corruptible body presseth down the soul, and the earthly tabernacle weigheth down the mind, that museth upon many things. So your fleshly body will weigh your mind down, right? And sink you low in the spirit. Now, when you deal with the etymology of the word, right, here's the etymology, meaning the origin of where this word comes from. Right? It reads from the Latin deprimere. That's a Latin infinitive, right? Or a past participle. To press down or depress. So you're literally pressing that spirit down. The spirit wants to be in tune and joy to serve the Most High. But then them spirits, they press you down. No, you're not going to be excited to serve the Lord. No joy, no happiness, no mirth. And they just press you down, right? Deep into the flesh. The literal sense, act of pressing down, state of being pressed down, is attested from the from 1650s, the meaning dejection, state of sadness, and what? A sinking of spirits. You see that? So your spirits of mirth, joy, happiness, you understand? All of those spirits, they get sink down and they go away. And they're replaced with the spirits that did press it down. Sadness, depression, thoughts of suicide, a slothfulness because you don't feel like moving around, darkness. A lot of people that deal with depression, they want to be in darkness all the time. You got to recognize that, damn, I'm in a damn dark room, man. Them spirits thrive in darkness. Damn, shutting the blinds and closing them and closing the curtains and turning the lights off and just sitting in the room. You got to, hold on, what the hell is going on, man? That spirit wants me to isolate myself, and these demons, their power is in darkness, right? So that's what depression is, man. It's the sinking of what? Of righteous spirits and spirits of mirth and joy and happiness. Because don't you know, it tells you in Nehemiah that the joy of the Lord is our strength. Let's go to Nehemiah chapter 6. Right? Let's go. It's like in Nehemiah 8. That's what I want. Nehemiah, the 8th chapter. All right, this is Nehemiah chapter 8 and verse 10. It reads, then he said unto them, go your way, eat the fat and drink the sweet, meaning eat meat, drink wine, and send portions unto them for whom nothing is prepared. For this day is holy unto our Lord. Neither be ye sorry, for the joy of Yahweh is your strength. And that's real, man. That's why he said it. That's why it's in the Bible. The joy of Yahweh is your strength. There's nothing greater than a sense of joy in this truth when you're serving the Most High. That's like that spirit when you first come into truth and you're excited and you want to read and you're telling everybody on Facebook that they're an Israelite. You're on Instagram making all these posts, and you might be at work letting your co-workers know you're binge watching videos. You order your apocrypha. You're looking for fringes to get. When you're in that estate, there's nothing greater. That's your strength. You're not thinking about rent and bills, and all you could think about is joyfully knowing the truth, joyfully knowing that you're an Israelite, and joyfully serving the Most High, man. That's your strength, your zeal and excitement to serve the Most High. So when these demons and Satan want to sift you out, he want to take away that joy, because that joy is what connects you directly to the Most High. And when you're joyous in serving the Lord, you go harder. It's easy. It becomes part of you, man. And that's with anything. When people are excited to do certain tasks, they tend to become good at it. They tend to excel. They tell you that now. They tell you in the world, hey, don't get a job that you'll hate. Why? Because your performance is going to be subpar. You're going to end up getting fired. You're not going to want to be there. You're going to be sad. And then, you're just going to do God knows what, man. But even these people that like their so-called job, don't you know they're good at it? They perform, they excel. Hey, these guys get promotions. These guys that they're on business trips, they're traveling around the world, they're eating the best food, right? They're wearing the best clothes, because they're excited at their so-called job. Hey, these guys show up early, they stay late. Their excitement and their profession is their strength. Likewise, in this truth, this is your occupation. Being a servant is your occupation. Who are you serving? Your master. Who's your master? Yahweh. Ba'ashem Yahushua. Does Satan want you to be joyous serving your master? No. That's why he sends these spirits, and he comes with all these demons. Nah, this brother, he was too excited when he came into the truth. He was too on fire, too zealous, too diligent, too mighty, too much potential. I got something for him. Let's send these spirits to press him down. And a lot of, that's why I said we have to approach this spiritually so we can understand what's really going on in our lives, man. What are we really up against? What we're really fighting? What are we really dealing with, man? It's beyond, it's not just you losing your job, right? It is just one reason why, brothers may be depressed, or sisters, whatever. Or, your family leaving you, or sicknesses or infirmities, or your car breaking down and things never get right. And, whatever, man, spirits come to you. It could be 1,000 things twice told on why someone deals with depression. All right. Nevertheless, we have to, again, know what we're up against, know what we're fighting, and realize that these things are nothing but, again, for the seventh time, and I would keep saying it, nothing but spirits to press us down. Let me read this again. Nehemiah 8:10. Then he said unto them, go your way, eat the fat and drink the sweet, and send portions unto them for whom nothing is prepared. For this day is holy unto the Lord. Neither be ye sorry. So he told them, hey, fight that sorrowful spirit. For the joy of Yahweh is your strength. So the Levites stilled all the people, saying, hold your peace, for the day is holy, neither be ye grieved. All right. Neither be ye grieved, because that spirit of grief was going to hop on them, and he kind of stilled them and said, hey, remember, man, what this day is about. And sometimes remembering the right hand of the Most High helps you fight that spirit, man. Right? You really need faith to overcome this depression. And we're going to touch on that. But first, let's go to the book of, let's see what I want. Job, the 6th chapter. Right? Job, the 6th chapter. And guess what? Even the mightiest men of the Lord, they dealt with prolonged periods of sadness and depression. Yahushua chiefly, when you read Isaiah 53, he's described as a man of sorrows, a man acquainted with grief. Yahushua dealt with it, man. David dealt with it. Job dealt with it. But guess what? All of those men, they're the elect. And Yahushua is the King of the kings. And he overcame. He said in John 16:33, be of good cheer, I have overcome the world. That's what Yahushua said, man. Job overcame. They overcame that spirit. And the Most High took that spirit from them because they believed, man. And that's what we have to be in that same mode, for lack of better terms. Now, this is Job chapter 6 and verse 7, right? Because we know what Job went through. Remember, Job lost his sons. He had 7 sons. He had 3 daughters. He had she-asses. He had cattle. He had servants. He had health, wealth. Lost it all in one day. Just like that, man. All right, back to back. Lost it all. So Job, he had his head down, man. And rightfully so. Imagine losing everything you have and loved and was dear to you and nigh unto you in a manner of hours. Back to back to back to back. So nobody was really more depressed than Job, you know? So here's some insight on Job's thought process on what he was dealing with. Job chapter 6 and 7. The things that my soul refused to touch are as my sorrowful meat. Oh, that I might have my request, and that God would grant me the thing that I long for. So he said, look, Lord, please give me this one thing, even that it would please the Most High to destroy me, that he would let loose his hand and cut me off. You see these thoughts that can hop on our anybody, man? And these thoughts hopped on Job, and Job was perfect. It got so bad, Job was asking the Most High, he said, I want one thing. Lord, just kill me. Let loose your hand and just cut me off, man. So these spirits, they'll get you to say things, man, that shouldn't be said, to do things that ought not be done. Let's read on. Then should I yet have comfort? Yea, I would harden myself in sorrow. And that's one thing you can't do, right? I will harden myself in sorrow. You can't just build up and let these things just fester. You got to fight. And like I said, we're going to go into different ways on how to fight and solutions on how to overcome these things. But you can't harden yourself in sorrow. Remember, this is Satan trying to sift you out. That's how you got to look at it. Satan is trying to sift me out. I have to fight for my life. Let no man take my crown. That's Revelation 3 and 11. But one thing you can't do is harden yourself in sorrow, man. You start blocking everybody on your phone, you know, start deleting numbers. You stop coming around. Like I said, you go in your room and you turn all of the lights off. You binge eat. Some people binge eat, man, when they're depressed. Some people lose their appetite. Some people, they just keep eating. They eat, fatty foods, ice cream and honey buns and, zebra cakes, and they put on weight and they become, unhealthy. And, it just turns into a mess, man, because they're hardening themselves in their sorrow. This goes back to this article right here. Let's pull this back up. Right? About your health being affected on a physical level. I want to jump down. Actually, let's read. Right? What is depression? Feeling sad or anxious at times is a normal part of life. But if these things last more than a few weeks, they could be symptoms of depression. Clinical depression, especially left untreated, can interrupt your day-to-day life and cause a ripple effect of additional symptoms. Meaning what? More spirits will hop on you, right? Like I said, gluttony, covetousness, more violence. You understand? Unbelief. These are more spirits that come with that demon. If you don't cut that demon head off, you're going to bring more demons on you. Major depression, right? A more advanced form of depression is considered a serious medical condition that may dramatically affect your quality of life. So here's some things that affects you, man. Right? Feelings of sadness, or these are depression symptoms. Lasting sad, and you may not even know that you're depressed. You may hear this and say, damn, this is why I've been acting like this, man. Damn, I'm depressed. I didn't even know that, man. Damn, this brother's depressed. We need to help this brother, man. And your woman might be depressed, man. And your children, like I said, they got some secret notebook and they writing all these dark things out and dark poetry and listening to bugged out music. Hey, it's some, like the brother said, sad music. It's some sad music out there, man. Some Edomites screaming and the damn crying, and some music can make you cry, man. And that's all they want to listen to. Because guess what? That's that demon inside of them feeding off of that sadness and sad music and just spirits, man. Depression is a mighty demon. A mighty demon. It's one of the top demons out there. You got lust, slothfulness, depression, pride. You understand? These are some of the mighty demons out there. Doubt, or unbelief. And guess what? These spirits have been sent to sift us out, man. And you got to fight these things and stay in prayer, and don't isolate yourself. And we'll cover that in time to come. Let's read some of these symptoms, right? Or effects of depression. Feelings of sadness or emptiness, lasting sadness, emptiness, hopelessness. See that? You lose hope in this truth. Or guilt that lingers and affects you day to day may be a symptom of clinical depression. Insomnia. Depression can keep you awake at night. This may be related to difficulties getting comfortable or quieting the mind. Because you got all these thoughts in your mind, man. Why did she leave me? I thought I was enough. Maybe if I would have did this right. Well, no, because she did say this, and you got all of these thoughts coming in, man. And you got a restless mind. Preoccupation with death. Depression may cause a preoccupation with hurting oneself. It can also increase the risk of suicide. Let's show that in the Bible. Let's go to the book of Tobit. Right, and that's what we read in Job. Didn't Job just say, even that it will please the Most High to destroy me, that he would loose his hand and cut me off? And he said, I will harden myself in sorrow. Let's go to the book of Tobit, the 3rd chapter. Right, Tobit chapter 3. And again, if you know somebody dealing with that, this is a very serious matter. Right, because you never know what they're thinking about, man. They may be thinking about cutting themselves, harming themselves. Some people, they write this damn a manifesto down and their life journeys and what they went through and their hardships, and they're planning a day to kill themselves. Right? They're just planning it. It may not be today, but it may be next week. These are signs, man. People tell you, hey, look, I just wanted to call and tell you I love you. I just want to call and let you know, you've always been there. I want you to watch over my woman for me. You watch over my kids for me. I loved you, and I hope you take care, man. And I got this will, written down, and tell Ma that she could have a car, and tell Keisha that, hey, if you hear somebody talking like that, you gotta open up your mind and recognize. And there are other tells and other signs, but you got to recognize that, hold on, this brother, he's having thoughts of suicide. He's dealing with depression. You got to stop it. You got to pull up on that guy, man. There are hotlines that people deal with, man, suicide hotlines. And, you might have to go pray with that brother, or, do what you got to do, man. And you got to do what you got to do. You can't just sit there, okay, who gets the car? What about your shoes? Because I know that would be wicked, man. Now let's go to Tobit to show again that, our forefathers and foremothers, they dealt with this thing. This Tobit chapter 3 and 7. And it came to pass the same day that in Ecbatana, a city of Media, Sarah, the daughter of Raguel, who was also reproached by her father's maids, because that she had been married to 7 husbands, whom Asmodeus, the evil spirit, had killed, before they had lied with her. Doest thou not know, said they, that thou hast strangled thine husbands? Thou hast already 7 husbands. It's like if thou hast had already 7 husbands, neither wast thou named after any of them. So you had these spirits to hop on these women to mock her and say that she killed her husbands and you'll never be married. And to a woman in the ancient world, hearing that gets you low, man. Because that was a woman's joy. All she lived for was to be married one day. That's how our women thought, man. All they want to do is be married and bear children to a righteous man. So when they heard these things and they're dealing with these men that they, was close with dying, and it was down, man. She was down. It reads, wherefore, Tobit 3:9, wherefore doest thou beat us for them? If they be dead, go thy ways after them. Let us never see of thee either son or daughter. And these are hurtful words. So you have people or spirits that hop on people to intentionally try to break your spirit and break your heart, man. That's why your father died. That's why your father left you. That's why so-and-so happened. And you got to watch out for people like that, man. You got to rebuke them. You might have to separate from. There's people around you to try to put spirits on you, man. They're always trying to bring you down. They call them Debbie Downers. Remind you of evil and trauma that you've been through, things that you don't even want to deal with anymore, man. That's why you got molested when you were 6. Right? And then they bring up all of these things that you tried to suppress, or you sought the Most High for, and you're trying to get over, and they're bringing these things up on you, man. Because there's demons on them to try to break you and make you sad. And you got to be cognizant of these things, man. This thing gets real. You got to protect your soul. You got to protect your soul and your mind and your spirit in this truth. Because everybody don't have your best interest at heart. And even the ones that are closest to you, spirits can hop on them to say things to get you out the spirit. Even a spirit hopped on Peter. Satan hopped on Peter in Matthew the 16th chapter and said, Lord, be it far from thee. This thing shall not be unto thee. Right, Salakia? Right, bear with me. This thing is cut off on me. Right? Salakia. Right? Okay, Khan. All right, all praise to the Most High. All right, so Salaki, let me pull this back up. Lord willing, brothers could hear me. Right? Can everybody hear me through the spirit? Let me see, Salakia. Right? Let me make sure this is all right, we should be back. All right, you see that? All right, so let's get back into it. All right, let's go back into it. So I want to pull this back up. Okay, Salakia. Okay, so this is Tobit chapter 3. See, that Satan wanted me to lose my so-called train of thought. Right? But the point is, you got to keep your guard up in this thing, man. Satan hopped on Peter. Yahweh shall recognize and rebuke that spirit. So here's what happened to Sarah. When she heard these things, right? When they heard them, her trying to get her heart broke, right? They were trying to break her heart. She was very sorrowful, so that she thought to have strangled herself. So she thought about hanging herself. And a lot of people do that, man. They'll hang themselves from, a damn sprinkler, or a wall or whatever, man. People will blow their brains out. People are damn fill up a bathtub and sit in it and slit their wrist. People are damn OD on pills on purpose. and take a whole bunch of pills, man. People are go inside of a car and stuff up the damn pipe and let that damn I can't think of the gas off the top of the head, but they'll just suffocate, man, and die. People will jump off a building. People jump off a bridge, they'll tie a weight to their ankle and jump off a bridge. Those are spirits on those people compelling them to do these things. So she thought to have strangled herself. And she said, I am the only daughter of my father, and if I do this, it shall be a reproach unto him, and I shall bring his old age with sorrow to the grave. So she thought about doing this, and I can't do it. She fought that thought and said, that's not a righteous thing to do. I need to fight that demon. That's a spirit on me. Right? That's what she said. So what did she do after that? Then she prayed toward the window and said, blessed art thou, O Yahweh, Bashmi Awashah, my God, and thine holy and glorious name is blessed and honorable forever. Let all thy works praise thee forever. So she started praying to the Most High, right? That the Most High cut her down, but nevertheless, she sought prayers to the Most High. And that's what we got to do. We got to pray to the Most High. You got to fight them thoughts, fight them spirits. And the first thing you should be doing, if you can, is praying to Yahweh Bashmi Awashah that he take them spirits away from you, man. Right? Let's go back to the book of Job. Right? Job chapter 6. Actually, that's it on that. That's all I wanted. Let's go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 14. So when you're dealing with those spirits, you want to do your best to go immediately into prayer and recognize that, again, those spirits can hop on people to try to break your heart, get you sad, tap into, you may be insecure about something. You may have had some type of trauma in your life. And there are spirits that hop on people to bring those thoughts that you tried to suppress or not deal with anymore just to get you more depressed. And you don't want to be around anybody like that, man. Right? Straight up and down. You don't want to be around people who got these demons on them and all they do is just want to make you sad and depressed on purpose, intentionally. That's wicked. Proverbs 14 and 13. Even in laughter, the heart is sorrowful, and the end of them, and it's like, and the end of that mirth is heaviness. So people, they'll be dealing with these spirits of sorrow and depression. They may laugh in your face, or there may be mirth for a split second, but again, at the end of it all, when they go back home, that's why I said you got to watch out for signs like this sometimes, because people display or express depression in different modes. Some people laugh, right? But then it really as a cover-up. Some people are in mirth, they might drink. Some people, they freak off and smoke and sin against their maker. Some people, they deal with prostitutes and whores. Some people, people cope with depression. Some people do whatever, man. So no matter what they try to cover up, that sadness and that mirth, it's like that sadness and that depression is still going to be there. Now let's go to the book of First Maccabees. Now I want First Maccabees 6 and 8. I read this, but I want it in a GNT, right? I read this in a Good News translation, right? First Maccabees 6 and 8. It reads, it's like First Maccabees 6 and 8 out the GNT. When the king heard this report, he was so dumbfounded and terribly shaken that he went to bed in a fit of deep depression because things had not turned out as he had hoped. He remained ill for a long time, and waves of despair swept over him until he finally realized that he was going to die. And this can happen, man. People literally have heart attacks. Like you brought up, suicide comes in. They deal with disorders. Some people die of depression, die of grief. You can actually die of grief. It's not you don't always have to get hit by a stray bullet or a Mack truck or, something fall on your head, right? It says that this man, and he's an Edomite. But this can happen to any one of us, man. When you read Ecclesiastes, the 40th chapter, it says all such things happen unto man and beast alike. It reads, he went to bed in a fit of deep depression because things had not turned out as he had hoped. And you might try to get a job, they might turn you down. Then that depression demon is looking for the right opportunity to hop in. And a spirit might hop on your woman, she might commit adultery. That spirit of depression, that satanic force is coming in to get you down. And you might have lost a whole bunch of money, man. Your health might be affected. Your children might be sick. You might be catching the hell, man. Your car might be breaking down all the time. And guess what? When all these things befall you, don't you know what's coming to get you next? You got to expect it. Oh, here come that depression spirit. Here come that spirit of sadness. It's going to hop on me. And guess what? It's going to come quick. It's going to come quick. That's why you got to pray to Yahweh Shemel, man. That he keep these demons away from you. He keep them evil spirits away from you. He give you the ability to fight and recognize these demons and have a spiritual mind. So these things don't get you like they got this devil right here. So this man went into a fit of deep depression because things didn't go the way he wanted them to go. And that can, that happens to all of us, man. Everything is not going to work out your way. Like I said, it could be a job, it could be your household, it could be money, it could be a woman, it could be your health, it could be a vehicle, it could be, your worldly family. You might damn broke your phone, and then if you break your phone, you trip and you break your kneecap, and you break your kneecap and you found out, your auntie died and things ain't going the way that you wanted them to go. And that wave of deep depression comes upon you. But you got to fight that, man. You remember, in this truth, you always in the ring. You always got to keep your guard up. They tell you that when you're boxing. Always keep your hands up. The weakest boxers got their hands down, man. And guess what? Those guys, they get knocked out, 10 seconds or so. But your professionals, these number one contenders, these guys you see on HBO and, the 30-0 and 40-0, these guys, they always got their hands up. Why? Because they're here to protect themselves, man. They say protect yourself at all times. That's boxing 101. Protect yourself at all times. Guess what? You got to be like that in this truth, man. You got to protect your spirit at all times. If you're easily getting out the spirit, if you're easily sad, if you're easily angry, you can never take correction, or you got to protect yourself. Those are spirits trying to get on you, man. Keep your hands up, man. Hey, Bob and weave, how they say. We was going into this at camp. Hey, throw that jab back, man. Don't let that deep depression hop on you because things don't turn out the way you wanted them to turn out. Hey, fight that demon, man. You got to tell yourself, okay, look, man's goings are the Lord. Okay, all praise to Yahweh Bashmi. The Most High is going to open up something better for me. Okay, I'm going through the furnace of affliction right now. All praise to Yahweh Bashmi. Hey, look, I'm still in this truth. Yeah, things may not be going the way I want them to go, right? Hey, but I'm still an Israelite. I'm still in this truth. I'm going through the furnace of adversity. I'm suffering the way that Yahweh Shah suffered. These are certain things. You have to immediately tap into your mind and convince yourself of righteousness, man. And persuade yourself that these things are supposed to happen and that there are better things coming. They tell you that in the world. They say, I believe the saying goes, when the Most High closed one door, and if you know it, you can say it, right? But the Most High closed one door, you open 3 more. It's something like that, right? The Most High kind of shut one thing down, then 3 more doors open. There's a phrase they put out there, right? But you understand the point. And these are the things you have to remind yourself of, and even your fellow brother, when they're dealing with these spirits. Because what happened to this man? Let's read verse 9. Remember this first Maccabees 6 and 9 at the GNT. He remained ill for a long time, as waves. That's an army after army of more demons. he remained ill for a long time as waves of despair swept over him until he finally realized that he was going to die. He called together all those who had given him the title, friends of the king, and said unto them, I cannot sleep, and my heart is broken with grief and worry. At first, I asked myself why these great waves of trouble were sweeping over me. Right? And some brothers, they don't ask themselves, why am I dealing with this? What's going on? Right? Why is this happening? Why do these spirits of sadness keep going on? But the spiritual man is going to say, hold on. Yahweh, he is the father of spirits. Yahweh Bashmi Abashah, he has created these spirits. There is over 10 million spirits in the third heaven. The Most High is trying me right now. I'm going through the furnace of adversity. I'm going through affliction right now. Now I know I should be praying to the Most High. I got to keep my guard up. I'm going to call my brother, can you pray with me? Because two are better than one. And the Lord said, a threefold cord is not quickly broken in Ecclesiastes 4:9 on down. So that's what the spiritual mind is going to do. He's going to recognize that this is war and this is a battle. But this guy, he asks, why are these things happening to him? Because he's carnal. We know why these great waves of trouble sweep over us and why sadness and depression may befall us. Right? We know Deuteronomy 28:65. Right? We know what this scripture says and what that scripture says and how the Most High works. All right? And some people wait till it's too late. If you wait till it's too late, it's going to be harder to get that depression out of you. It's still possible, but it's going to be harder. Right? Slakia. All right, still got some time. At first, I asked myself why these great waves of trouble were sweeping over me, since I have been kind and well liked during my reign. Right? So, he was far from that. I'll leave it at that. Right? So these things can happen to you, man. It can be judgment. It can be chastisement. You may have to repent, because you don't know why these things may happen. It could be judgment. Most I put that on you because you was going off, man. Right? Or you're going through the furnace of affliction and adversity. Right? But you have to be aware about what's going on. Let's go to Psalms chapter 38. Right? Psalms chapter 38, and I want verse 15. Let's see if this is what I want. Okay, I'll come back to that one. Right? I'll come back to that one. I want 1 Samuel. Right? That's a good one, but I'll go to 1 Samuel chapter 1 and verse 15. It reads, and Hannah, now remember, Hannah, she was reproached by a fellow sister who was getting on her and vexing her because she couldn't bear a child or be pregnant. That's what I say. You gotta watch out for these people who want to try to break your spirit, man. Pulling stuff up on your past, and they know what you've been through. And there's certain stuff you joke about, but there's certain stuff you just don't joke about, man. And if somebody got molested and raped, they ain't something to joke about and bring up, man. And if they do bring that up, that's a demon on them to try to get to you. That's real, man. And that's what Hannah was dealing with. She was dealing with the spirit that came from another sister. I'm not going to read the whole chapter and go into Peninnah and her name and things of that nature. But here's how she dealt with it. The point is, let's look and see how she dealt with it. 1 Samuel 1:15. I'm going to start at, this whole chapter is good. Okay, I'm going to start at verse 13. Now Hannah, she spake in her heart. Only her lips moved, but her voice was not heard. Therefore, Eli thought that she had been drunken. And some people drink, and they want to deal with depression. They drink and drink. You can't drink your way out of depression. Don't you know they call it spirits? You go past these corner stores and they're selling beer, they're selling wine, and they're selling spirits. So you're drinking E&J, some damn Taylor Port, some Douce, right? Some damn Hennessy, if I didn't say that already. Some wine, some damn whatever, man. Oh, I'm gonna keep drinking. No, you can't keep drinking. You can't drink your way out of depression. Ice, that's not going to help. That's going to do more damage. Separating yourself is going to do more damage. Harming yourself, that's literal more damage. Not fighting those thoughts, that's more damage. Right? So Eli thought that she was drunk because she was praying in her mind, but she was saying it with her lips. So Eli said what? In verse 14. And Eli said unto her, how long wilt thou be drunken? Put away wine from thee. And Hannah answered and said, no, my Lord, I am a woman of a sorrowful spirit. I have drunk neither wine nor strong drink, but have poured out my soul before the Lord. She didn't pour out a cup, man. And pour out a shot and take it to the head, man. She poured out her soul to the Most High. She didn't hold anything back. And when you're dealing with these sorrowful spirits, you can't hold nothing back. You got to let it all to the Most High, man. Give it all to Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Every detail, what you think is the cause, how to overcome it, your problems, the stress, the depression, you got to literally pour it all out to the Most High. She said, I have neither drunken wine nor strong drink. First thing she did was pray to the Most High. Don't you know it's easy to drink when you're depressed? It's easy to freak off, pull up a lewd site and do God knows what to yourself. It's easy. It's easy to feel good, get that quick satisfaction in the flesh, something like temporary high. But that's not going to get rid of that depression. All you are doing is adding sin upon sin and get some temporary fix, like a junkie. So no smoking weed. You want to smoke a cigarette, a black, pop a perk, get drunk, then watch porn, freak off with yourself, try to deal with somebody else's woman, afflict yourself, isolate yourself and close the blinds and the curtains and put on the dark room and watch a sad movie and listen to sad music. That is not the way. That's not how you deal with it. And if you're dealing with depression right now, and those are things that you're doing, guess what? Now it's a wake-up call. So wait, it's a reality check. I gotta fight this, man. I gotta get out of this, man. I'm deep in the mire. I'm damn near drowning in these demons. Let me pour out my soul before the Lord. If you did it before, hey, do it again. I already poured out my soul. I don't know what else to do. And hey, look, man, let's see what happened. But have poured out my soul before Yahweh. Count not thine handmaid for a daughter beloved, for out of the abundance of my complaint and grief have I spoken hereto. Then Eli answered and said, go in peace, and the God of Israel grant thee thy petition that thou hast asked of him. And she said, let thy handmaid find grace in thy sight. So check this out. Verse 18. So the woman went her way and did eat, and her countenance was no more sad. See how that spirit left her when she poured out her soul before the Most High? That spirit left, man. That demon. Because, you know, these spirits don't want you to pray to the Most High. They want you to cut off the Most High and find pleasure in sensual things. That's what they want you to do. So when you start praying to the Most High, them demons start boiling up, man. That depression demons start boiling up and like a parasite. Parasites want you to keep eating junk. They want you to eat Big Macs. They want you to eat a Whopper. They want you to eat junk. They want you not to take care of your body. They want you not to take care of your hygiene. They want you to do that because that's how they live. They feed off of your damn villainy, man, to yourself. And that's how these depression demons work. They want you to get drunk. They want you to do these things. So when you do the opposite and you start throwing up prayers, see how about Shmi Abashad, and you reach out, look, I never thought I would say this. You know, it take a lot for me, Abba, you know, I'm dealing with depression. Yeah, I've been dealing with this for, 1 month, 3 months. You know, hey, he might start crying, man. You know, he might pour out his soul to Yahweh Bashmi Awashad. Hey, guess what? That depression demon and that sad demon that came with it, and that isolated demon that's kicking it in your crib, your body. Hey, they can't dwell there. Parasites can't dwell in a healthy host. Tapeworms can't dwell in a man who has a good diet according to the law, and who's on fire with the Most High. They can't dwell there. They can't live inside in that environment. Carnally, there are certain demons, they can't dwell in a particular environment. They can't dwell in you, man, because you're doing the exact opposite of what they want you to do. And that's why Hannah's countenance was no more sad, because she poured out her soul to Yahweh Bashmi Awashad, and that demon couldn't take it no more. Right? Let's move on. Let's go to the book of Ecclesiasticus. Let's get to classic, chapter 30. All right, let's go. Let's deal with Ecclesiasticus. I gotta go back to the 1611. Right? Let's go to Ecclesiasticus chapter 30 and 21. So now you got to understand that, look, these demons, they can't dwell in a particular environment. Right? Like I said, like a tapeworm, a tick, a leech. They can't, they just can't. Like mosquitoes are like a parasite, but if you put that repellent on or you kind of layer up right, they can't get to you. Leeches are a parasite, but if you don't go to that habitation, they're not going to get on you. Tapeworms are a parasite, but if you take care of your diet and you take care of your body and you stay in prayer and do the work of the Most High, they can't dwell on you. All right, so again, you have to apply that. This is how you fight these spirits, man. All right, this is Ecclesiasticus chapter 30 and verse 21. Right here's the classic. Give not over thy mind to heaviness, and afflict not thyself in thy own counsel. So don't be an overthinker. Some people overthink themselves with the damn depression. You're creating 1,000 scenarios in your mind that will never happen. Well, what if my woman commits adultery, and then I'll have to write her a bill of divorce? And what about our children? And then what about my job? Do I leave? And oh no, brother, it didn't happen. She's not going to do that. She fears the Most High. Why are you afflicting yourself? You're literally beating up your flesh, brother. Creating scenarios in your mind that's not going to happen. Oh boy, I'm going to get fired. Oh, I'm late 5 minutes. Oh, I'll never get a job, and I'll be homeless, and I'll just eat out of a trash can, and oh, the Lord will kill me because I'm not providing for my house, and oh, I'm going to just stay inside. Hey, guess what? If you're an overthinker, you better cut it out, man. That's a spirit too. That's like a minor spirit, but you still got to fight that overthinking, because it leads to stress. It leads to anxiety. It can lead to depression. It can lead to doubt and disbelief. So don't give over yourself and submit unto heaviness. Don't afflict yourself in your own mind. And the Lord said in Sirach 3 and 24, many are deceived by their own vain opinion, and the evil suspicion hath overthrown their judgment. All right, so you can be in your own head all the time, huh? Right? I know he's talking to my wife. I just know it. This brother's not thinking about your woman, man. Now you go home and you sad. Woman ask, well, what's wrong with you? Nothing. Right? And now you walking around, you moping and you're sad because you in your own damn head, man. And you can be your own worst enemy. See, Sarah in the book of Tobit, Hannah, they had to deal with external forces. You deal with internal. You're your own worst enemy sometimes, huh? You're the reason why you're depressed. It's not because somebody says something to you or somebody did something to you or something happened at your job, or it's because you just are an overthinker and you stress yourself out about things that don't have to be stressed out about. You're creating 10,000 scenarios in your mind that will never happen. And you're just destroying yourself, man. And you got to pray that fast that the Most High don't give you over to that. That's an evil spirit. That's an evil spirit. And you got to damn recognize that and get rid of it and flee far from that, man. Right? So let's read on. Ecclesiastes chapter 39 and 22. The gladness of the heart is the life of man, and the joyfulness of a man prolongeth his days. Remember we read that in the book of Nehemiah, the 8th chapter, right? That the joy of the Lord is his strength. And again, if you're stressed out, people die of stress, they die of depression, they die of grief. Love thine own soul and comfort thy heart. Remove sorrow far from thee, for sorrow hath killed many, and there is no profit therein. So you're supposed to comfort your own heart, right? And some people I know when they're sad, they may go outside and get some fresh air, right? They may just they'll leave that even open up those blinds in your dark room and lifting up that curtain. It does something to your spirit, man. Because darkness is demonic, right? Or I'll say it like this: darkness isn't necessarily demonic. Spiritual darkness is. It's nothing wrong when you go to sleep, you turn the lights off. That's not wicked. But what I'm trying to say is demons and wickedness, their power resides in darkness. The Lord said in Psalm chapter 104 that the beasts of the field come out at night, paraphrasing. So even getting that light, that does something to you, man. Walking outside, getting some fresh air, that does something to you. Seeing somebody else smile. You might go to the beach, man, go to the park. You might see somebody having a good time, and then you might see something, you might laugh at something out there, and you want to get yourself out that spirit. You got to fight it, though. It ain't going to be easy. Some people got to come to you and say, get out this room, and they lift the blinds up and, hey, look, we leaving right now. Come on, we going out now. Get dressed, get up, take a shower, we going out. I don't want to go out. I'm not leaving till we leave, man, till we get out. So the brother get ready to get out, and in 10 minutes, he's not even thinking about that no more, man. And that demon don't like that brother to get out. That demon want him to isolate himself, have wicked thoughts of damn violence and depression. Depression don't like sunlight and laughter and mirth. So the Most High is telling you, hey, you gotta forcibly comfort your own heart, man. Look, I'm just you might listen to some music, kind of get your mind out of it, man. Of course, you're gonna pray to Yahweh Bashmi Abashai. You might have a favorite comedy you like, man. You might put on a favorite comedy. You want to laugh, and because when you laugh, it releases what's that? Endorphins. Let me see if I can type that in. Endorphins. I believe laughter. Stress relief from laughter. Right. Let me go through this. Okay. All right. So this is Mayo Clinic. Stress relief from laughter. It's no joke, right? It says when you're golfing, right? I don't know why they used that word. They could have used laughter, right? At a sitcom or TV, or quietly giggling at a newspaper cartoon, laughing does you good. Laughter is a great form of stress relief, and that's no joke. Let's jump down. A good sense of humor can't cure all ailments, but that is mounting about the positive things laughter may do. A good laugh has great short-term effects. When you start to laugh, it doesn't just lighten your load mentally, it actually induces physical changes in your body. So that them demons that want you to be isolated and sad and put your head down, they're going to leave. They can't take laughter and mirth, sunlight and fresh air. They thrive off of isolation and wicked thoughts and sadness, and you can't give over to that, man. So here's some things laughter could do, right? Stimulate many organs. Laughter enhances your intake of oxygen-rich air, stimulates your heart, lungs, and muscles, and increases the endorphins that are released by your brain so you feel good. It cools down your stress response. It can increase and decrease your heart rate and blood pressure and get a good, relaxed feeling. Laughter also can stimulate circulation and aid muscle relaxation, right? Both of which can help reduce some of the physical symptoms of stress, right? You can read this on your own. Improve your immune system. See this? Negative thoughts manifest into chemical reactions that can affect your body by bringing more stress, right? Demons into your system and decreasing your immunity. By contrast, positive thoughts, see that? You got to have positive thoughts, can actually release neuropeptides that help fight stress and potentially more serious illness. They relieve pain, satisfaction, improve your mood. So that's what this means, comfort your heart. It could be through laughter, and it could be through music, right? It could be through a plethora of things. Remember in 1 Samuel, Saul had an evil spirit on him, and David played the harp, and that spirit left him, right? Because music carries spirits too, man. Laughing, that carries spirits and spirits of mirth. You got to bring these spirits home and drive out those evil spirits. So much time on that. All right. This yeah, brother said work out. If you work out, and you can work out, man. You know, 1 Samuel chapter 16 and verse 16. Let our Lord now command thy servants, which are before thee, to seek out a man who is a cunning player on the harp. And it shall come to pass, when the evil spirit from God is upon thee, that he shall play with his hand, and thou shalt be well. Right? So they said, look, we're going to get a man, play the harp, and that spirit will leave you. And Saul said unto his servants, provide me now a man that can play well, and bring him to me. So I'm going to jump down. Right? 1 Samuel 16 to 23. And it came to pass, when the evil spirit from the Most High was upon Saul, that David took an harp and played with his hand. So Saul was refreshed and was well, and the evil spirit departed from him. So that demon can leave you. Some people get it, you know, they may play some music, some what they call hype music, or something that get them going, get that blood going. And some people, they have comfort food, you know, they remind them of, you know, their grandmother or growing up in their childhood. They call it comfort food. That make them feel good, man. Some people they work out. They may do push-ups and hit the gym. Some people, hey, they go to the court, they play basketball. And there's a thing called a pastime in the truth. People have pastimes. Right, let me finish this verse, then get that. Sirach 30, it's like a 30 and 23. From the top, love thine own soul and comfort thy heart. Remove sorrow far from thee, for a sorrow hath killed many, and there is no profit therein. All right, now let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 32, because people had hobbies back then, pastimes, man. You know, let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 32 and verse 12. It reads, there take thy pastime and do what thou wilt, right? Meaning in righteousness, but sin not by proud speech. So what is a pastime? Right? The Most High said that there take thy pastime. right? I mean, you don't want to kick it at a brother house and, you know, you doing everything at his house. And you living there at the feast day, right? You do your pastime at home, an activity that someone does regularly for enjoyment rather than work, a hobby, right? Let's see, amusement, a distraction, relaxation, right? Divertisement, diversion, fun, right? Interest, enthusiasm, passion, pleasure. You know, so you might, like I said, you might work out. You might have a pastime to help, you know, the spirit hop on you. You might watch a movie, listen to music, go out with your brothers. First and foremost, again, for the seventh time, you're going to throw up those prayers and pour out your soul to Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Then you have to realize is what comforts you. Because what may comfort me may not comfort you. Right? I may not be the brother that go and work out to comfort me if I'm dealing with depression. That may be you. I may be the brother, hey, just throw up some prayers, man. You know, I might reach out to a brother. You know, another brother, he might listen to some music and get his mind off of it and pour out his soul to the Most High, and then he might do whatever in righteousness, right? So there are different ways to help you get out of it mentally. And you bring those spirits of mirth and laughter and joy in, and that becomes your strength to want to serve the Most High and get out of that slump you in. Let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 2. All right, so you don't have to pay $10,000 a month, man, to see some lewd psychiatrist. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 2 and verse 20. I'm going to start at 23. I'm going to start at 22. Ecclesiastes chapter 2 and 22. What hath the man of all his labor, and of the vexation of his heart, wherein he hath labored under the sun? For all his days are sorrows. And that's how we feel sometimes, man. Some days, you know, things just don't go the way that you want them to go. Week after week, month after month, you never have enough money. You know, you never have enough this, and you know, people are prospering and you feel like you should have it, and you know, people are sick and you jammed up and you got to go to work and you're sad and you want the kingdom. And hey, look, man, all his days are sorrows and his travail grief. Yea, his heart taketh not rest in the night. That's that overthinking, tossing and turning, depression spirit. This is also vanity. So that's a vain thing to give yourself over into that. There's no profit in it. There is nothing. So here's the solution. There is nothing better for a man than that he should eat and drink, and that he should make his soul enjoy good in his labor. This also I saw, that it was from the hand of God. Right? So a brother might go out with a brother, they might get a glass of wine or, you know, drink something, man, and they might watch the fight or the big game or something and get their mind off of it. You know, brother, he might do whatever, man. Guess what? That's from the hand of God too. See, the breakdowns and the parables, they're from the hand of God. You receiving a wife and children is from the hand of God. Enjoying your labor and having times of mirth is also from the Most High. You don't have to be a depressed Israelite, man. Well, I'm in captivity. You know, it is what it is, and I can never smile because the Lord said, woe unto them. Hey, look, brother, you got to know what this thing is about. See, the Most High, he deals with liberty to a certain extent. And you're allowed to have liberty, man. You know, there's no commandment where you have to be sad 24/7 and wallow in your sins and all of your 1,000 lives that you had, man, before this one. Oh, I wonder what I did in my past life. Oh, Lord. And then, hey, look, man, and you repent from that, you know, whatever may have transpired, and you move on, man. On a feast day, and you're keeping a feast day in mirth. And you may have joy in your children, man. If you got children, you might, you know, take them to somewhere or whatever, man. This thing is a mental war. The Lord said, abstain from fleshly lust, which war against the soul. Right in 1 Peter 2 and 11. Here's what Solomon said. For who can eat Or who else can hasten hereunto more than I? For the Most High. So Solomon said, you know what this means when it says, for who can eat, or who else can hasten hereunto more than I? Solomon is saying in layman's terms, and you can't turn up like me, man. I'm the life of this party, man. Can't nobody get down like me. Can't nobody have fun like me, man. You can't eat like me, and you can't. Hey, look, when it comes to getting down, I'ma get down. I ain't gonna be stressed out. I'm not thinking about bills, rent, depression, sadness. Hey, look, I'm gonna get down, man. For the Most High giveth to a man that is good in his sight, wisdom and knowledge and joy. See, so if you're good in the sight of the Most High, even though we're under these curses, even though we're in captivity, the Most High is going to give you times of joy, right? Joy in your children, and you might have a woman, a joy, you might have saw something funny and you might have laughed, whatever. The Most High is going to give you some joy, a little reviving in this bondage. Let me read this again from the top. For the Most High giveth to a man that is good in his sight. What makes you good? Keeping the faith, being obedient to the law. It's lucky for a man. It's lucky for the Most High giveth to a man that is good in his sight, wisdom and knowledge and joy. So that goes in with wisdom and knowledge, because the joy of the Lord is your strength. But to the sinner, he giveth travail to gather and to heap up, that he may give to him that is good before the Most High. This also is vanity and vexation of spirit, right? This also is vanity and vexation of spirit. Let's go to Nehemiah chapter 2, right? Let's deal with Nehemiah. We're going to get a few more. See where I'm at with time. We're going to get a few more and we're going to wind down, right? See what Kate Ottawa said, do the little things that make you happy. They build us up too. Those small victories add up. That's right, man. And this thing is like a war of attrition. A war of attrition, constantly fighting to beat these spirits that may hop on us. Now I wanted Nehemiah, the 2nd chapter. All right, this Nehemiah chapter 2 and verse 1. And it came to pass in the month of Nisan, and the 20th year of Artaxerxes the king, that wine was before him. And I took up the wine and gave it unto the king. Now I had not been before time sad in his presence. Right? So he was sad, even at the workplace. And guess what? Nehemiah, he was the cupbearer. And that was the one of the top, or that was the top office you can have in the court of the king. Because you are responsible for the food and things given to the king. So if somebody poisoned it, they poisoned his wine, that was on Nehemiah's head. So they had taste testers, and he had to do all of that. So you have to really be a trustworthy man to have a position Nehemiah had. The king really had to trust you with his life, right? So Nehemiah, it tell you a lot about his spirit. Even though he was trusted by the king on a high level, and he was sad at this time. Verse 2, wherefore the king said unto me, why is thy countenance sad, seeing thou art not sick? This is nothing else but sorrow of heart, because somebody could perceive that spirit on you. Then I was very sore afraid, because you're supposed to do your job and love your job and be joyous. All right. And said unto the king, let the king live forever. Why should not my countenance be sad, when the city, the place of my father's sepulchres, lieth waste, and the gates thereof are consumed with fire? Then the king said unto me, For what dost thou make request? So I prayed to the God of heaven. So in his depression or his sadness at the state of his people in his city and the temple, he did what, man? Yeah, he was sad, but he prayed to the Most High. And guess what happened when he prayed to the Most High? The Most High granted him his request, and he was able to go back to Jerusalem and serve the Lord with joyfulness and gladness and build back up the walls, set political reforms, reinforce the law, and move Israel closer to the Most High. That's what Nehemiah was able to do. So in your sadness, like Hannah, pour it out to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, man. What you're dealing with. Call a brother, man. Call a sister. Confess your faults. Let them know what the Lord said a brother is born for adversity. I believe that's Proverbs, the 18th chapter. Right? Proverbs 18. All right, well, I'll get that one after this one. The 24. A man that hath friends must show himself friendly, and there is a friend that sticketh closer than a brother. You see that? You have a friend that sticks closer than a brother. And if you have those friends, hey, reach out to those friends, man. Don't be ashamed. It don't make you weak. Don't make you no less of a man. It makes you a stronger man, that you have the integrity and the willpower to want to get rid of that demon. You want to get rid of that demon, so you're going to call that brother. You're going to reach out so that they can pray for you and help you realize it, man, and deal with these spirits. Let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 34. Right? We may get one or two more, and we're going to wind down. Right, let's go to Psalms, chapter 34, and verse 17. The righteous cry, and the Lord heareth, and delivereth them out of all their troubles. The Lord is nigh unto them that are of a broken heart. So you see that even if you may be by yourself, you may not have a brother, you may not be part of a congregation, but guess what? You have the Most High. You have Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai, and the Lord is nigh unto them. That's the type of people the Most High is with, man. The Most High hears the widow, the stranger, the fatherless, those that are poor and broken down. That's when the Most High, he's really, because he's your father, he's really in tune with you. So if you got a broken heart for whatever reason, don't think that you're alone. The Most High sees you in that lower state, and he's going to pick you up and build you up and get you out of that lower state. Right, let's read this again. The Lord is nigh unto them that are of a broken heart, and saveth such as be of a contrite spirit. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivereth him out of them all. You see that? So the Lord is, and let's say the Lord might deliver him, or the Lord could, but he couldn't. He should, but he shouldn't. He would, but he would. It don't say that. It says the Lord delivereth him out of them all. Being afflicted by depression, afflicted by sadness, afflicted by your own counsel, afflicted by financial situations, marital situations, physical infirmities, and job situations, just your own thoughts and all types of spirits. If you pour it out to the Most High and have that faith, the Lord will deliver you. All right, let's go to, I had another precept in my mind, right? Let's go to Matthew. I had another one in my mind I wanted to get to, chapter 26, right, and 38. It reads, Then said he unto them, this is what Yahweh Shah said, My soul is exceeding sorrowful, even unto death. Tarry ye here and watch with me. So Yahweh Shah, he was subject to the same infirmities, temptations, and spirits that we are. Sorrowfulness, depression, even unto the point of death. But he brought his brothers with him. And he went a little further and fell on his face and prayed. So he didn't smoke, he didn't freak off. He prayed, saying, O my Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as thou wilt. So here's what Yahweh Shah dealt with. Here's what the King of Kings dealt with, the mightiest man, the mightiest spirit, the chiefest amongst 10,000. Here's how he dealt with this sorrowful. And nobody has been more sorrowful than Yahweh Shah. Nobody had to deal with what we had to deal with, man. He's a man of sorrows, a man acquainted with grief. Isaiah chapter 53 and verse 3. He is despised and rejected of men, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief. and we hid as it were our faces from him. He was despised, and we esteemed him not. So Yahweh had to deal with depression, sadness, grief. He was groaning in his spirit to deal with wicked Israel and the sacrifice. And guess what? He overcame by prayer. You understand, to the Most High? By remaining full of faith, by being diligent. Surely he had borne our griefs and carried our sorrows. Yet we did esteem him stricken, smitten of the Most High, and afflicted. So all of your grief, you give it to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. And the Lord carries that. All of the burdens and the stress and the sadness, hey, wrap it up, put it in the bag, tie it up, and you give it to the Lord. And the Lord takes it willfully and carries that for you. And you have less burdens on you. Does it not say, cast thy burdens upon the Lord, and he shall sustain thee? Right? We're going to get two more. Psalms chapter 55 and 22. Cast thy burden upon the Lord, and he shall sustain thee. He shall never suffer the righteous to be moved. So again, all your burdens of sadness, depression, and doubt, and spirits, hey, put in the bag, man, for lack of better terms. Tie it up. And ask Yahweh, may you take this burden away from me, man. And guess what? The Lord will do it, right? Matthew chapter 11 and verse 28. It reads, come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. So Yahweh Shah said, brothers that deal with depression, sadness, troubles, woes, afflictions, madness, wicked thoughts, and the Lord said, come unto me. You go to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, man. You open up these scriptures. You pray to the Most High, and the Lord will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. But with that, I'm going to close up, giving, of course, all honor and all glory to Yahweh. Ba'ashem Mashiach Wamalak Yahushai. Fight that depression. Fight that spirit. Don't let it root you off the earth. We read in 1 Maccabees 2 and 40. Fight for your life. And it's truth, man. Reach out if you need to. Again, fight those demons. Pour out your soul to the Most High and pray for faith. But with that, we're going to close up, giving, of course, our honor and glory to Yahweh. Ba'ashem Mashiach Wamalak Yahushai. Most High willing you were edified. Kwam Yasha. Shalom.